Only true empaths possess this rare spiritual radiance. Carl Jung Introduction. The invisible force. That everyone feels there are people around whom the world slows down. In their presence, the noise in one's head subsides, and a strange, almost forgotten feeling arises. The feeling of being seen. Not your masks and roles, but you. And conversely, some, being near such a person, experience inexplicable discomfort, a desire to argue, to stink, to leave. What is this? Luck? Coincidence? No. Carl Gustav Jung, plunging into the darkest and brightest corners of the human soul, described this phenomenon. He spoke of a rare aura, a spiritual radiance possessed by true empaths. This is not an esoteric myth, but a real psychological fact, an energy informational trace left by our psyche. This is the frequency of the wounded healer. Imagine a piece of coal under monstrous pressure. What happens to it? It does not crumble into dust. It undergoes alchemy and becomes a diamond. So it is with the soul of an empath. The pain it has endured did not destroy it, but compressed it into something crystal clear, solid, and capable of refracting light in an amazing way. This aura can heal souls by its mere presence. But, like any powerful energy source, it attracts not only those seeking healing but also those who want to feed on this energy. Part 1. The shadow side of the gift. When the lighthouse attracts a storm, let us imagine this gift as an incredibly sensitive musical instrument, say a Stradivarius violin. In the hands of a master, it gives birth to divine music that touches hearts. But if left on a square in damp weather, its wood will swell, its strings will go out of tune, and someone might even step on it. The same is true for an unawakened empath. His psyche, this very subtle instrument, is constantly tuned to the wavelength of those around him. He hears not only what people say but also the background noise of their soul, suppressed anxiety, unspoken resentment, muffled anger. The problem is that he cannot simply turn off this reception. Without understanding how to manage this, he begins to mistake this noise for his own inner melody. And here lies the main danger, which Jung called archetypal confusion. The empath's aura creates powerful patterns of attraction. To him, like the hero of ancient myths, various characters begin to converge, but without developed consciousness. The empath cannot distinguish who is before him, a guardian who has come to help on the path, or a predator disguised as a traveler. He sees a suffering person and rushes to help, not realizing that before him is an energy vampire who does not want to solve his problems, but wants to make the empath his personal battery for recharging. The empath becomes exhausted, feels empty, burns out, and his gift begins to be perceived as a curse. In this state, he is the wounded healer. His healing power exists, but it is unconscious and paid for with his own vital force. Part 2. Neurology and Spirituality. How the empath's brain is structured to understand. How to manage this gift. Let's look under the hood. Modern neuroscience finds surprising confirmations of Jung's insights. The brain of an empath is not just the brain of a sensitive person. It is a highly specialized tool for reading reality. Mirror neurons in an empath are not just active, they are hyperactive. When you see someone bruise their finger, these neurons cause your nervous system to literally simulate that pain. You may flinch involuntarily or feel a slight tingling. The insular lobe, the area of the brain responsible for self-awareness and the interpretation of bodily sensations, works more intensely in empaths. This means that they not only read the emotions of others, but also pass them through a powerful internal analyzer, linking them to their own bodily sensations. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for control and analysis in a trained empath, learns not to block these signals, which leads to burnout, but to observe them. This is the beginning of alchemy. I feel your pain. I acknowledge its existence, but I know that this is not my pain. I can observe it without merging with it. It is precisely this combination, hypersensitivity and developed self-observation, that creates this very phenomenon. An empath is not just a sponge, it is a complex system for receiving, analyzing, and transmuting emotional information. His nervous system is not a defect but an evolutionary upgrade that, however, requires special firmware, awareness. Part 3. The living mirror. Why people react to you so strangely, and now, the key point. That will explain 90% of your inexplicable interactions with people. The empath's aura is a living, unconscious mirror. It does not just feel, it reflects. It reflects a person's own internal content, his shadow. According to Jung, those parts of his personality that he hides from himself. Let's look at 3 archetypal reactions. 1. Resonance of recognition for conscious people. Imagine walking through a desert for years, carrying a heavy burden on your shoulders, and then you meet a person who, without words, understands how hard it is for you. He does not offer to take your burden upon himself. He simply nods and says, "Yes, I understand. It is heavy." And because of this, your burden does not become lighter, but it becomes easier for you to carry it. This is what people on the path of awareness feel next to a sovereign empath. They see in this mirror not judgment, but deep understanding and confirmation. They feel, "I am not alone in my search." 2. Anxiety and rejection for unaware people. Now imagine another person. He also carries his burden, but he is so used to it that he has even convinced himself that it is a part of him. He is proud of his scars. He has suppressed his pain, driven it deep inside. And suddenly he sees its reflection in your face, in your energy. He sees his own unspoken grief, his fear, and this sight is unbearable. His psyche cannot accept it. A defense mechanism is triggered. Projection. It is not I who is depressed and unhappy. It is you who look sad and weak. Stop looking at me like that. Hence, unmotivated criticism, accusations of excessive sensitivity, attempts to bring you down to earth and devalue your gift. 3. A magnet for emotional parasites for energy vampires. The third type of person does not see himself or understanding in your mirror. He sees a socket. His psyche, exhausted by internal conflicts, is incapable of generating its own energy of peace and joy, and he looks for external sources. Your bright, charged, albeit suffering aura is like a beacon to him. He will unconsciously cling to you, dump his emotional garbage on you, tell you about his problems not for solutions but to feel how his batteries get slightly charged from your internal source. After communicating with such a person, you feel as if all the juice has been sucked out of you. Part 4. The empath as an antenna of humanity. Connection with the collective unconscious. But the scale of the empath's personality is not limited to his personal relationships. Jung introduced a brilliant concept, the collective unconscious. This is a certain psychological foundation common to all humanity, an ocean of archetypes, myths, scripts, and primordial fears and hopes. The empath is a being whose antenna is connected not only to local radio stations, individual people, but also to this common ocean. He, like a seismograph, can long before events feel the growing anxiety in society, collective panic, or, conversely, a wave of hope. He can suddenly, for no apparent reason, sink into melancholy or feel an inexplicable uplift. This contains his greatest mission and greatest danger. The danger is psychic inflation. An empath, feeling all the pain of the world, may imagine himself to be a messiah, a savior who must take upon himself all the sins of mankind. This is a path to a psychiatric clinic. He begins to confuse his personal feelings with collective ones, his ego inflates, and he loses touch with reality. The mission is to be an early warning system and a catalyst for healing, feeling an approaching illness of the collective psyche. The empath can begin to heal it within himself by working through his traumas, establishing healthy boundaries, transmuting pain into wisdom. He, literally, purifies a drop in this common ocean, and this pure drop influences everything around it. He serves as a bridge between the unconscious chaos of the masses and the potential for conscious, individuated life. Part 5. The Alchemy of the Soul, the path from wound to sovereignty. So, how to accomplish this greatest transformation? How to transition from the state of a wounded healer used by everyone to the state of a sovereign healer who manages his gift by his own will. This is not a what-I'm act, but a path consisting of 3 stages of inner alchemy. Stage 1. Recognition. This is not mine. This is the most important and difficult step. You must learn at the moment when a wave of inexplicable emotion, melancholy, anger, anxiety washes over you to ask yourself the sacred question, is this mine? Often the answer will be no. This is someone else's energy that simply passed through you. This very thought is already an act of separation. You cease to be merged with this state. Stage 2. Transformation. What can this become? When you have recognized a foreign emotion as energy, you cease to be its victim and become an observer alchemist. You look at this anger and ask, what can I transform it into? Into determination? At this anxiety? What can I turn it into? Into vigilance. You do not suppress the energy, you change its form. Your pain becomes the basis for deep understanding. Your vulnerability becomes the source of genuine strength, because you are no longer afraid to feel it. Stage 3. Integration. This is now part of my strength. The transformed energy does not go anywhere. It integrates into your personality, making it more complex, multifaceted, and resilient. You are no longer afraid of the darkness, neither in others nor in yourself. You know that treasures can be found in it. Your aura changes radically. It ceases to be the screaming frequency of an unhealed wound and becomes the powerful, even, restrained radiance of a whole being. This is the frequency of the sovereign healer. Part 6. The new reality. The world you create around yourself when you undergo this transformation. Not only do you change, your entire reality changes. The law of resonance begins to work for you. Energy vampires lose interest in you. Your energy becomes unappetizing to them, to pure and stable. They simply stop noticing you or feel discomfort around you. You begin to attract whole, awakened people. Your relationships cease to be the drama of rescuer-victim. They become a dance of two sovereign personalities who enrich each other, not exhaust each other. You heal by the mere fact of your existence. You do not need to save anyone, give unsolicited advice, or carry others on yourself. Your calm, integrated presence itself becomes a healing field. You, like a tuning fork, simply by your sound help others tune into their own harmony. Conclusion. Your sensitivity is the answer, not the problem. If you watched this video and something within you resonated, trembled, and agreed, know this: you are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are a bearer of a rare gift acutely needed by the world. In an era of digital noise, superficial connections, and total alienation, you are those who remember the language of the soul. You are living conductors of genuine, deep, authentic contact. You remind humanity that it is a single organism. The world does not need more robots skilled at suppressing their feelings. The world desperately needs you, the healers, the guardians, those who are capable of turning the lead of pain into the gold of wisdom. Your mission is to accept this gift, study it, manage it, and shine with your unique, sovereign light, illuminating the path for others. Your next step. This video is just a map. You must walk the path yourself, but you should not walk in darkness. If you are ready to explore the labyrinths of your psyche more deeply, learn the practices of energetic hygiene, setting healthy boundaries, and the alchemy of emotions, you have come to the right place. Be sure to subscribe to the channel's Secret Book of Light. Ahead of us are separate videos on how exactly to recognize energy vampires, techniques of grounding and shielding, and deep analyses of Jungian archetypes. Like if this resonated in your soul, and write in the comments, which of the described situations have you encountered most often? Your experience is priceless. See you soon in the labyrinths.